is Faith, and I'm back with another video. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about, I guess, affordable luxury, but more specifically, being able to obtain luxury bags through, I guess, maybe kind of non-alternative routes. So I'm going to talk about two bags today that I got from eBay. These bags were very inexpensive, but they had a lot of issues, a lot of defects with them. So the first bag I want to discuss is a Chanel tote that I got. It was $200 and I think $30 initially. I got it back in February. But as you can imagine, for that amount of money, this bag was in need of some serious TLC. So I will insert a video now that'll show you the condition that the bag was in when I initially got it. So this is a quick look at a Chanel bag that I got from eBay. I got it from a Japanese reseller. I have spoken to the leather surgeons about getting my bag restored. If you're not familiar with the leather surgeons, they specialize in restoring Chanel bags. So there's a lot of YouTube videos about this particular company. And I'm just going to do a look around of the bag before I send it in. I'm actually going to send it to them by UPS today. So I just wanted to do a quick before video of what this bag looks like. So here's the inside. It's messy. It has a very musty smell, which I expected because this is a pretty old bag. The leather itself looks like it's not in bad condition. The piping will need to be redone, so they will work on that. That's a major thing that they're going to be working on. This is the back of the bag. The main thing that we discussed over the phone were the handles. So the person I spoke to, Jerry, he said that this is a common thing with this particular model of bag. The handles, are really stretched out and they're not supposed to be. So I'm gonna have the handles replaced. So here is just a quick look at this bag again before I mail it to them. And I am looking forward to seeing what they can do with this bag. Okay, so now we're back. And I did send the bag into the leather surgeons. And I spoke to Jerry a couple of times on the phone. He was really great. He told me everything that he thought needed to be repaired with this bag. I guess the biggest surprise was the handles. The handles were in pretty bad shape, I will say that. But what I didn't know about the bag was that the handles were actually stretched out. And he told me like that's not even the shape that the handles were originally in for this particular bag. So he said that he could try to work on the handles, but he said that the best thing to do would just be to replace them, which is what I went ahead and did. So this is how the bag looks now, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So of course they did some extensive work on it. Sticker. Okay, anyway, they fixed the piping on it. The leather is good as new. And like I said, they did replace the handles, so now it's like a chain strap, like you see on so many Chanel bags, and there's leather woven into the chain. So this bag is pretty good for a work bag. It's not going to be as spacious as another tote just because The depth isn't very big. It's only about 3 inches for the depth. So this is a bag that I could probably carry to work, but I might need to carry another bag with it. But I do love it. I'm gonna take out the plastic or the paper stuffing. It does have 2 pockets in it. So this is pocket 1, which goes to the front. The pocket does have a Chanel zipper to it. And this is the second pocket, which is exactly like the first pocket. So when I got this bag, it was pretty much completely like new. The only complaint I do have is that when I have the bag stuffed, right now the magnets do stay closed, but if I put things in this bag, the magnets won't stay closed, unfortunately. It's not a huge deal. When I carry totes, I tend to carry them without any closure anyway. Like, I've carried the Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the past. I have an MCM tote right now, and none of them have closures anyway, so it's not a huge deal for me. It's not a deal breaker. I do have this up on Poshmark, but I have to say I really love this bag, so I don't know. I'm kind of debating with myself. I'm like, do I really want to sell it? Or maybe I should keep it? I don't know. I do have it up for sale, but so far I haven't had any takers yet. And I don't know, I just really like this bag. So I'm debating whether or not I just want to sell this one and maybe in the future buy like another like really beat up Chanel bag off of eBay and have it refurbished by the leather surgeons. I think the work that they did on this bag was impeccable. It just looks really great, really shiny. I mean, you couldn't even tell that this bag was in the condition that it was in when I first got it. So kudos to the leather surgeons for the work that they did on this bag. Again, it looks amazing, and I think maybe buying bags that are just, like I said, in need of a little bit of TLC or maybe a lot of TLC, it's one way to get luxury bags without necessarily paying thousands of dollars for this. So even with the cost that I paid to the leather surgeons for this particular bag, it was under $1,500. So this bag was, I think, a great investment, whether or not I decide to keep it or I decide to end up selling it. Right now it is living in this dust bag in my closet until I make a decision. But again, I just love that, and I think it's a really great way to get luxury on, I guess, the relatively cheap side. Another bag that I got, and this one was more of a project, is this Balenciaga City Bag. I also brought this off of eBay. It was $127 if my memory serves me correctly. I didn't send this in to anyone. When I got this bag, it was pink, but it was like totally faded. Some of it was pink and some of it was just so badly faded it was hardly pink at all. So when I got this bag, I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to have to dye this bag. So I watched some YouTube videos on how to dye it. I went to a leather store, Tandy Leather. It's a chain, so there might be one available where you are. And I just brought leather dye. You definitely need to use leather dye. Do not use dye that's made for like clothing or something else. You need dye that's specifically made for leather. I also got the glazer, and again, that's really important because you want to get off any type of coating or just any type of dye that's currently on the bag. So you want to make sure you go over the bag really good with the glazer or some type of preparer, just so that the bag can actually soak in the dye. If you don't do that, there's always a chance that the dye won't soak in as well. So it took a while to kind of get this bag to a point where I felt it was okay to actually take it in public. Um, I did paint it and dye it the first time, and I used like a brush and a sponge to go over the bag. But the metal was, I painted it black, and it was really hard to get it off. What I ended up doing to kind of remedy that was I actually just stripped all the dye off again. I used Barkeeper's Friend to get the dye off the metal. And when I went over it again, I just was very careful when I got around the metal pieces to keep the dye from getting on those metal pieces again. Actually, if you look at it closely, there still is some dye on the metal. I don't know if you can see it. From afar, you can't really tell. So, I also used dye on the strap as well. And yeah, I just went over the entire bag. There is a mirror that comes with it that's also in the bag. I have this bag stuffed right now with a towel. The mirror's in here. I also dyed the mirror. I'm not going to take it out, but yeah. So I dyed the straps as well. I literally dyed this whole bag. So it was pink, and now it is completely black. It does not look faded now. When I went over the zippers, I noticed that the leather dye didn't really get the cloth around the zipper. So I did have to buy some fabric dye for that. And I did take a brush and go over the actual fabric surrounding the zipper, just to give it a more even finish. So I am mostly happy with it. There was a little rip in the piping. I don't know if it'll focus and you can see it. I think you probably can see it right now. But other than that, I felt like this bag was in pretty good shape. The city bags tend to have kind of like that rough, slouchy look to them anyway. So yeah, it does look a little slouchy right here, but I'm not too worried about that because, again, these bags are supposed to look pretty slouchy anyway. The strap is removable on this bag, and I think I will probably get another strap just so I can carry it crossbody. This is like the classic Balenciaga. It's a vintage one, so the strap is very short, and I can only carry it on my shoulder right now. And honestly, it's not very comfortable to carry on my shoulder. I would much prefer to carry it crossbody, so I will be on the hunt for a strap, maybe like a guitar strap that I can use to carry it. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I did with this. I just dyed it black. It took a few days, but if you're more careful than me, just make sure you cover like the metal pieces. You could probably get this done in a few hours. What I would suggest doing if you want to dye a bag is make sure you have gloves, because the dye will get on your hands if you don't. I would use latex gloves if possible, but I use dishwashing gloves. But if you can get latex gloves, that's probably a little bit better, just in terms of being able to feel the brush and being able to be steady with your hand. Have a towel, because the dye will like soak into different surfaces. I actually have like a couple of dye spots on my counter where I dyed this. So yeah, you want to make sure you have a towel. Make sure that the towel is like well folded, not just like one layer of towel. You want to make sure that it's pretty like folded so that there's enough layers to absorb any dye that spills off. And make sure you probably do at least a couple of coats. One coat is definitely not going to be enough to cover any color, especially if your bag is not originally black. So you're going to do like, again, you're going to use the glazer. You want to get everything off first. You want to make sure you go over the bag thoroughly with that deglazer. I use Fibings deglazer as well as Fibings leather dye. So once I went over it with the deglazer, I put one coating of leather dye on the bag, and I let that dry for like a couple of hours before I went back and put on the second coat. And then you want to just kind of maybe put on a third coat if you don't feel like the color has absorbed enough. But after that second coating, if you're okay with it, just let it dry overnight. And then what I did afterwards is that I put, I forgot the name of it, but it's kind of like a coating that you can put on afterwards. It makes it a little bit more shiny because I felt like it was kind of dry looking after I had dyed it. So it does give it a little bit more of a shine. Oh, let me go back. So before I put this shine coating onto it, I will insert the link to it because right now it's just escaping my brain. I did use some leather conditioner. I use Cadillac's leather conditioner. I think that leather in general just tends to absorb it a little bit better than some of the other leather conditioners I've used. But if you have like Apple leather conditioner or some other type of leather conditioner, it will probably work just as well. So I put leather conditioner on here, and then I put on the coating. And the coating is good because not only does it give your bag a shine, but it will also protect it from water and other elements. So I put the coating on after I let this dry overnight, and the coating dries pretty fast. So once you put the coating on, your bag is pretty much good to go. You can use it. If you do not decide to put that extra coating on, you might want to wait maybe a couple of days before you use the bag because the dye can rub off on your clothes, especially if you're wearing light colored clothing. So yeah, so this is what the bag looks like. I don't have any before pictures. If I can find them from eBay, I will post them. But I think eBay tends to take them down pretty quickly, the listings. So it's been like over 2 months since I bought this bag, so the listing may not be up anymore, but if the listing is up and I can download those pictures, I will definitely post before and after pictures. So I just wanted to show you 2 bags that I got that, again, they were in need of some attention, and then once they were rehabbed, they looked great and they're in good condition. And again, that is a way, that is one way that you can afford luxury bags if you don't have, you know, a gazillion dollars. I'm a librarian. I don't make a lot of money, so I do have to shop for things on a budget. Like I will never be able to spend $5,000 on a Chanel bag or $2,000 for a brand new Balenciaga City Bag. So I have to find ways to be able to obtain some of those bags, but at a lower cost. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you like my channel in general, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm also on Instagram. My handle is @FaithPurseLover2018. Thank you for watching, and bye.